The audience member who's just trying to, instill their, it's gotten sort of silly. I mean, in that they just want attention, but I think when it gets too far, somebody will pull it back if they still want to, they'll just say, shut up. But when you've seen the movie 100 times, you don't really need to hear it. You know it.
Yes, but I actually saw it recently in a private screening, in a living room setting, and I was like, oh my God, those are the birds.
Yeah. That's a good way to see it once or twice, and that's the way most people are seeing it now, probably, on a Halloween, after they've smoked a little. Yes.
Actually, I'm going to dig back into your musical theater past.
Okay.
The musical Nick and Nora.
Yes.
That you did on Broadway. What was it like working on a show which was a musicalization of an iconic fictional couple, and you played Nick Charles?
Yeah.
Which, going back to the William Powell, Werner Lloyd days, and then now you're making a musical out of it. What was that experience like?
It was sort of in 92, we did a musical on Broadway called Nick and Nora, and based on the Thin Man movies. And it was one of those shows that, because we didn't do an out-of-town tryout, we made all of our mistakes in front of everybody, and it was a mistake. We should have gone to Boston or Philadelphia. We should have gone somewhere to work out the kinks, So unfortunately, we did all of our previews on Broadway, and when we were doing the show at night, we'd see what was wrong with it, and then we'd rehearse in the afternoon or the day, and then put up new numbers or something that next night. And so the audience in New York, which is sophisticated and a bit catty sometimes, had a real attitude about the show before we even opened. And the people who saw it fresh, like on opening night or the short time that it was on, liked it, but they had no history of all the sort of permeations of it. Did I like the show? No, I didn't like it that much. I mean, I didn't like the producer, writer, director, shifted the story around. He made her all about her, the Nora character, and he tried to bring it into the sort of 90s kind of, it's all about women's lib, and and by doing that, he sort of took it out of the character of the period, and I thought that was a mistake.
Well, I always wondered, because you're such a talented cast.
Yeah, great cast.
It's one of those things where it seemed like it might be a great concept on paper, but as you say, but when they got through twisting it around.
Well, the director, writer, producer person, he didn't listen to anybody. He'd always done shows. He wrote West Side Story and Gypsy and all these things, and his work had always been messed around by other directors and other producers, and so he wanted to once and for all do his own thing, and it's a collaborative art, and he decided not to collaborate with anybody, and I thought the show suffered because of that. Yes?
I feel so stupid for asking this, but I had no idea you were in the Pirates of Penzance.
Yeah.
What role did you play?
I played the Pirate King. Yeah. I did the Joseph Papp production. I did the L.A., the West Coast version of it, Kevin Kline part that he played in New York, and then I did it in Toronto with Andy Gibb, and who was the girl from Mork and Mindy? She played Mindy. Have you done the part?
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, it is a good part. Did you do that version of the show?
Huh? I was doing the shadow cast of Rocky too.
Oh, were you? Oh. Have you done Mayor Winston yet?
not quite old enough to have it.
Want to take my kids to school? All right. Any other questions? Yes?
How hard was it to switch coasts in the middle of Sin City when Charlie Sheen came on board?
Oh, really quite easy, actually. Charlie was a real team player, and he, and because we had had such a difficult, sad time with Michael, it was like everything opened up again and became fun again, with Charlie. And Charlie was willing to learn. He hadn't done a lot of that type of comedy, and I don't even know what happened to his career after our show. But I think he tried hard,
Is he asking you to step in to do the two dads?
Yeah, no, unfortunately, no.
Can he give you a call?
Yeah. No, he was really, he became like part of the ensemble. One of the problems with Mike was that he was also the executive producer, so I had a hard time relating to him just as another actor, as somebody you could joke around with and fool around with, and because you knew that if you made the wrong joke or did the wrong thing, he could fire you. And that's always difficult when you're acting and trying to be spontaneous and making mistakes, because that's part of the process, And with Charlie, he was making as many mistakes as us, and we would just laugh. And he was, I like Charlie very much, very much. I'm not sure about his choice in women, but. Luckily he's making enough money to support, the small country that he's trailing behind him.
Hannah Montana questions for Barry, some hit movies of the season.
Yeah, like Hannah Montana. Yeah. Recently I've taken to these sort of teen movies where I play the bad guy in teen movies. In Hannah Montana, this new movie out, and Nancy Drew. I try to kill Nancy Drew, and I steal Hannah Montana's land, and it's sort of what I've been doing lately is being the bad guy.
That started with Weekend at Bernie's too.
Weekend at Bernie's, yeah, Weekend at Bernie's.
Started with that, right?
Yeah, it did actually. Yeah, that's right. Weekend at Bernie's too. That was a fun movie, wasn't it? That movie I still see occasionally. And
You signed up to do Nip Tuck?
Nip Tuck? I did an episode of Nip Tuck. Yeah, and it's funny, Nip Tuck, you do an episode like I think maybe it was 6 months ago, and they said, well, it's not going to be on the air till the end of 2010.
Yeah. Are you going to be a bad guy in that one, or what's your...
I play a blind lawyer. And it was really an interesting character to play, because I had never played, that kind of a character before. And
Is that when they called you on, or did you sign up for it, or...
they just came, they asked me to do it, and so I thought, well, yeah, sure, that'd be great. And then I just did a Ghost Whisperer like a week ago, and I'm doing an episode of Till Death, the Brad Garrett show. I'm doing that next week. Last year I did a bunch of independent features. Another interesting movie, a family movie with called Destiny's Revenge or something like that, about a dog shelter that I try to take away from the kids again. Yeah, well, I know, it's hard